Hey everybody, this is Kelly Oblak for this week's Scraplift Saturday. This is our inspiration board for the week, and I really liked the horizontal lines that are made by all the shelves and from that black and white tablecloth, and also just the rows of pillows. I also like the aqua and the minty color in that bottom right kind of abstract photo. This is my layout that I scrap lifted. It's by Becky Adams for Bella Boulevard. You'll find this on my layout board on my Pinterest boards, which are linked below. Today I'll be scrapping two photos of my grandson eating carrots for the very first time, and I'm using that blue and green from that bottom kind of, as I said, sort of abstract photo of the flowers. And I'm going to go through and just cut off the border strip there. I did look to see whether I liked the photos on the blue or the green, and I decided I really liked them on the blue, just because the blue is pretty pale and the picture has such a high contrast to it. It's either very light or very dark. So I like the way the green, it sat on the green because it's a little bit more, it's not really mid-tone, but it's not quite as pale. Then I happen to have two sheets of the green, so I didn't have to look any farther for a border, and this detail piece of it, this middle section, is very much like the middle section from the lifted layout. So I was lucky. I happened to have two pieces of that. They were available. There's gray in the high chair, or it's really brown, but it looks gray in these photos, so I thought I'll just use that. So that border strip works out really well. And since this is my grandson, it's nice because this still is a really nice, it's a baby layout, but it's a masculine layout without being too silly. So now I'm going to use my centering ruler here. And I don't use a ruler a ton to get things straight on here. I think it would be easy if you had a gridded mat to do this, but since mine is not, I'm using the centering ruler. And then I can follow the polka dots to make sure that I have these down evenly. And you see there how I put those two border strips on, and that very, very much echoes the scrap lifted layout by the Becky Adams layout. And now I believe I went on a little bit of a search for alphabets. Since it's carrots, I decided I wanted to use orange, and right away, almost right away, I found this orange alphabet there, and that is from, oh my goodness, I'm trying to figure out where I put that. I may not have gotten this on here. I'll have to actually add that in at some point. It's a Thicker's alphabet, so I don't have the name of it. If you're interested in that, please, oh, actually, sorry, I do have the name for that alpha. It's the American Crafts Thickers in Daydream. Sorry about that, but I guess that wasted some time while I was putting my letters down. So I like it because it's kind of cartoony, and since he's a little boy, I think that worked really well. And then I'm putting a question mark and a couple of exclamation points here because it's, if you look at his face in that first photo, he looks very concerned and like, you know, what are you doing to me? Are you trying to kill me feeding these carrots? So that was the perfect alphabet for this. And I love this pop of orange mixed in with the blue and the green and the gray. And you can't anywhere on these photos tell, a little bit on his face, that he's eating carrots, but not that much. So I really like the fact that the alpha is in that orange to really emphasize what's behind the story of this page. And I think it's really nice when you can use things that are meaningful like that to help tell your story. All right, so now I'm just going to get those border strips down. I'm going to do something that I don't always do, which is get my title down fairly quickly on this layout. A lot of times I wait until towards the end to do this, but I did like how it laid in the scrap lifted layout, so it totally made sense that I would use the title in the same way. Now my title's not quite as long, but I'll just kind of center it. And I'm using my wax paper here because that's really going to help me get these centered, or get those letters centered really. See how cute cartoony that letter looks? Just perfect for kind of a silly page. And then what I'm doing here is I'm just using my centering ruler again. Because this layout is, at least right now, it's very symmetrical. I really wanted to make sure that I had it as close to centered as I possibly could. And because this is a foam alpha, I don't have to add extra adhesive to it. and it goes down pretty quickly because of that. I love those R's. I just like the shape of them, and all these letters aren't the same height, so I think that also adds to sort of the cartoony playfulness of the layout to go with the kind of playful theme behind here, and definitely that big old smile that he has in the bottom photograph. It looks like he's giving a thumbs down, but he really actually liked them once he tasted them and decided they were okay. All right, so going back, and I'm really placing my photos here where they were in the lifted layout, and then I have that journaling card, that Strike 4x6 card there, and that is from an Ellie Studio journaling card grab bag. And what I'm doing there is the photos are not quite 4 inches high, so I was just cutting a little bit off to make it work, and just making sure I want to put about the same reveal on each photo, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these cards to bring some more color into the layout. He's a child, so I wanted it to be kind of a bright, happy, fun layout, but the colors of the background papers and the strip there are so soft. I wanted to sort of honor that, but get some bright in here, and that also helps tone down that orange just a little bit, because that is pretty darn bright. All right, so I have that 3x4 card, and that says "Not Loving This So Much," and it's from Kathy Zilski. It was on her blog, so it was a blog freebie. She had "Not Loving This So Much" and "Loving This So Much," I think, both of those cards, and I just downloaded them, and now I can use them whenever I want. So thank you to Kathy, although she probably will never see this. I also have that 3x4 card that says "Captured," and I honestly don't know where that came from. It was on the back of a cut-apart sheet. It might be Bella Boulevard, but it might be something else too, so I don't have any idea where that is actually from. Now, I went through my pieces that match this collection, the special delivery collection, and I had a 6x6 paper pad that I cut this little ticket out from, and it says "First Veggies." I am going to use that. I just put it down to the bottom. Instead, right now, I have this little banner that says "Remember This One," this little die cut banner, and that's from one of the Ellie Studio monthly kits. I'm not sure. I think it's either May or June, but I'm not positive about that either. But I think it's one of the other, if it would be anything else, it would have been March, because those are the months that I've bought kits in this year. All right, so now I put the little die cut up at the top of the photo there. I wanted to bring some bright green down so that it kind of stops your eye before it falls off the layout. And then I took that little ticket and I found a little orange arrow there. And that little stripe arrow is from Bella Boulevard Max, the Trinkets. That's not going to stay there, because now I found this one from the Bella Boulevard Tiny Tots Trinkets, and that one says "Watch Me Grow," and I just thought it was really cute that it would say "Watch Me Grow" when he's eating something that will help him grow big and strong. And actually, these photos are 4 years old, so he is 4 now. All right, now I'm thinking about using these stars. They're little felt stars with buttons from the special delivery collection as well. I'm kind of toying with where I could put these on the layout. And I'm not loving how they look on here. I think they're a little bit too much dimension with the other things sort of scattered around the layout. And in the end, I don't make these work, and they'll come off. But I do like them on his baby layouts, just because they're sweet and they're baby-like. So I have a big discounter next to me near me in a really small town, and sometimes when I'm in that area, I'll stop there and see what they have. And I've bought, I think these are my 3rd and 4th packages of these stars because I like them so much. I think I bought the last 2 they had, actually. All right, now I am looking through some Ellie Studio die cuts. These are the Sunshiny Day die cuts that I have here. And I toyed with using that little fun circle. I was looking for some orange, trying to figure out, I was thinking I wanted to make the orange there a little bit more dominant. But what happened is, first of all, I didn't want another word on there. It was too close to the word captured. And the other thing is I thought the big spot of orange there was way too distracting. I will add a little bit of orange there in just a little bit before the end of the layout. So you'll see how I solve that. All right, and actually that was a clue to it, but I'm going to put that aside for just a minute. And now I'm playing around a little bit with where the photos are actually going to go. I want about the same reveal around the 3 sides closest to the edges of the mats there, or the bottom part where they're kind of matted on. So I have that bottom one on. I like it. I like how the striped sticker looks. I like where this die cut is, but I want to do a little bit more dimension because the only thing right now in here that really has dimension is the title. So I'm going to add that in with some Scotch foam tape, and I buy the big roll on Amazon. And then the other thing I'm going to do here is I have that ticket there that says First Veggies, and I'll put the date on there. And I inked the edges of that with my gray flannel Memento Dewdrop ink. The reason I did that is because it's green and so is that background paper, and they were kind of blending in together, and I thought that that would help that stand out, and it does. And then when I write the date on, you can really kind of see it. So it wasn't really important for me to ink all the edges here. I wanted to keep it a little bit softer because this is a baby layout. He was 6 months, just over 6 months old when these were taken. All right, and now I have another piece here, this little Here We Go piece there. That's a hexagon, I guess. This little hexagon here, that is from the Ellie Studio monthly kit that I can't remember exactly which month it is as well. I do pretty well telling you where most things are from, but every so often I'll get tripped up because I forget to write them. They used to write them on the kits, but they don't do that anymore. All right, so now I'm looking for something else, a different texture here, and I'm thinking that what I'm probably going to do is want some enamel dots. Or not, actually, first I go through and I look and see if I can use some acrylics. I was thinking like an acrylic star in greens or oranges. That's the reason I forgot about this, because it didn't make it to the layout. So I tried that. I didn't like that. They looked too solid. Tried some hearts here in kind of a aqua turquoise, but I didn't like how you could see the different layers between those. That is one of the problems for me with the acrylics. I don't always like being able to see the layers behind. Kind of looking at some wood veneers, but I decided I don't want to do wood veneers because they're a light brown and the rest of this layout has gray, so that's not going to look right. So now I'm looking for some enamel dots and like a turquoise and a green and an orange. And I pull out quite a few different things. I have a lot of enamel dots, I know. But it seems like you never have the right color enamel dot. Or for me at least it seems like that. Okay. So I have my enamel dots there. I'm kind of looking at colors and trying to figure out what to do here. This happened to be the only pack that had mint in it, that minty green color. So that is from Simple Stories Posh. And then I'm going to use the Simple Stories You Are Here enamel dots, and that's where the aqua and the orange come from. And I'm just scattering a few around here. Kind of anchoring them to other pieces within the clusters. And I actually used 3 enamel dots on the bottom and 3 enamel dots on the top. It's just on the bottom, they were all around the journaling card. In the top, they go between the die cut and the journaling strips. So here's the little piece that I was looking at before. It's a sticker sheet from Crepe Paper, and it has this orange scallop border here. And I thought that looked really, really cute along the edge of this. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to cut it just a tiny bit shorter than I really wanted to, so I'll have to peel that back up. I don't know what sticker sheet this is from. It's old. It sits on the left side of my desk right by my hand, my left hand, not too far from that, so that I can think about those sheets and keep using pieces up from it, pieces off of it. I struggle a little bit about where I didn't have to put this little leftover on, but since it was there, And I'm kind of echoing some of the same things in the top and the bottom without mirroring it exactly. I really wanted to put that on the layout. All right, so that is on. It's all done. Now I just have to glue down my photos a little bit more. Here is the still shot, a couple of detail shots. You see the journaling's done now. Hope you're all well, and we'll be back with another layout again soon. Bye.